Hello Leo, I am Ulrich, I am a Roman card reader, and today we will do the financial philosophical card reading for the sign of Leo for the month of February. And these are based on the natural elements in your astrological chart, or for some of you on your time of birth. These basic elements are air, earth, water, and fire. Now, the four objects that you always see on my table are directly connected to those elements. So you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. The subject of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current situation. However, if the object and the related video does not match your first choice, please check the other videos that are immediately connected in the same session. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. Anyway, the matches represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol spray represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. Also, I want to add, if you have questions, you can always post them in the comments below, and of course, as soon as I have time, I will answer them. So, Leo, here we go for your financial card reading for the month of February. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the shell or the water group for your financial philosophical card reading. As your first card here, we see the card of the heart here. This is very closely connected to Leo. Leo is the sign of the heart, warm-hearted kindness, warm-heartedness here, and it means probably that you love your partner deeply, you love your children, you love your friends, your family, they love you here. And of course, if we love the people around us, sometimes we want to show our affection. And probably you do this by kind-heartedness, by spoiling them, by buying them a present here and there, giving them some money, take them out for dinner at restaurant. This is all for expressing your feelings of love and towards them, that you spend these gifts on them, and also year by year, if we have holidays or if we have birthdays, you want to make their eyes shine again. But this card tells us that also that love cannot be bought. Here this card wants to make us think, and rather than shopping around in malls, thinking how to please your loved ones, we could actually give them a better gift, or a very precious gift for them here. And actually we could give them the most precious gift of all, and it costs nothing. And this gift, it's your time. This card asks us to spend some quality time with your loved ones here, because the best memories that we carry around us are these related to small anecdotes, time that we did with past activities with the loved ones, and of course it don't come from objects or toys or whatever. So this card tells you to be gentle with yourself and see the positive impact that it will have, not only on your financial side, but of course it will deepen out the relationship with those you love around you. The next card that we are seeing here is that we need to value small amounts of money. What does this card exactly mean? Well, here it probably points that maybe there are small amounts of cash that we are spending, small amounts with credit cards, and sometimes all these small amounts, they mount up to something big, especially on the long run here. Anyway, this card wants you to think about it and give it your sincere attention. Take a critical look. If you spend, even if an invoice on something that you buy that seems insignificant, and even it's smaller. Also, sometimes this tells us that we should avoid discounted articles, or always go into it here, because sometimes this makes us even consume more, and it blinds sometimes our financial clarity. We need to be aware. This card tells us that it takes a lot of coins or even bills to create 100 and forge these into thousands. So with this card, it tells us that each coin is of great importance for you now. So the next time, if you visit a store, rate exactly what you have bought, look at your articles, ask yourself about necessities, and are you really valuing these small amounts that you are spending, or are you overspending it, and are you losing track of its real value? So this card wants you to give back the real value to these small amounts, small coins, small bills. Let it have its moment of glory, and make them generate money for yourself, and let them accumulate in hundreds for putting in your savings. The next card that we are seeing here is the card of debts. There are two kinds of debt. There are good debts, positive debts, and there are negative debts that we are seeing here. The positive debts that we are seeing here, but we will start with the negative debts. The negative debts are debts on credit cards. Why are debts on credit cards negative? Well, we buy something, but it's not fully paid, and our credit card, it goes below zero, so it means we pay interest. This is a negative debt, or a debt that you don't actually want here. Here we see that we need to try to avoid making debts in credit cards. It will not contribute to your financial stability, and it has no economical value for you. If you pay cash, you pay what you have, but if you pay additional interest, the article becomes more expensive. And here we see that some of these credit cards, maybe you have credit cards like that. If you have several credit cards, you should double check your credit cards, also the interest rates that you have on these credit cards, because some of these cards, they are no longer business, they are sharking. So if you go below zero, they charge you enormous amounts of interest. So you should double check here what these cards rate you. If you ever use them and they go a lot below zero, much more than your regular cards, that's probably the one. They charge you, and they are charges here. They are no longer beneficial for you, and you should get rid of them. They are mostly harmful, and they are almost criminal. Here we should be very careful with this kind of cards. Then we have the positive debts. The positive debts, you see the house here is the mortgages that we have, the loans that we have on our house. Why is that? Well, the value of your property, it goes up each month. Mostly we are in very economical difficult times, and there are very few things that still have value. But in most countries, houses still keep their value, land has value. And here we see if you have certain debts on your house, these are interesting investments, because your property every year it goes up in value. If you add something, you add to the value here, and this is what this card is about. So think about the quality of your debts here and how does it contribute to your wealth. So Leo, this is all for the Shell or the Water Group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. If you have interest in Lenormand card readings, you can find those also on my channel. And of course, now we have also the psychological, spiritual, and philosophical card readings that you can find on my channel. They are very good guides, and they give a lot of information about the months to come. Anyway, Leo, you can check it out also for yourself. I want to thank you for your time, and of course, thank you for subscribing. See you next time, Leo. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for your philosophical financial card reading. As your first card here, we see the card of love here. What does this card tell us? Well, this card tells us that you probably deeply love your partner, you love your children, you love your friends, your family around you, you show them a lot of affection. And of course, you do this by spoiling them. You buy them a present here and there, an amount of money here, you take them out to dinner, you express all this, your feelings, with giving them certain presents. If something is coming up like a birthday, year by year, we are searching for the rare pearl that will make their eyes shine once more. But this card wants us to remember that love cannot be bought. And of course, you're aware of that. But it tells us also, rather than shopping around in malls and how to please your loved ones, maybe it's time for another approach. Maybe you can give them the most precious gift of all that actually costs you nothing. And what is this gift? Well, this gift is time. Show your interest by valuing them, by sharing your time with them, and of course, not gifts. The best memory that we carry, or memories that we carry with us, mostly are related to small anecdotes, activities, time that we spend with loved ones, and it doesn't come from objects or toys or gifts. So be gentle with this, with yourself, this card tells us, and see the positive effect it will come from it, not only on the financial side, but also it will deepen out your relationship with the people and the loved ones. The next card that we see here is actually the heavy card of the deck. This is not an easy card. This card has also two faces here, but in general, for the people, it means that there are financial issues. It means that something is off. Maybe your financial situation, it torments you. Maybe you wake up at night about thinking how you're going to manage money like here. Maybe there are certain balance deficit here for some people, maybe who are independent. They have reached a point of no return. There are harsh economical conditions around us. And here, maybe we should, if you're independent, this card might suggest that you consider certain options, maybe a bankruptcy specialist if you are in severe conditions. But of course, before you start and going down that road, and before, especially before you sign any form of agreement, inform yourself more and do more than only consulting a professional. You need to evaluate your the choices that are offered you very well, advantages that you get, disadvantages, especially you need to make sure that you understand the impacts of this process it's going to have on your present and especially on your future. Probably you will, with certain decisions that you make regarding this, it will have consequences, and you will probably need to change drastically your consumption habit. For people, for private persons who are in a very difficult situation, sometimes this card tells us, for instance, for going to a social assistant in our local community. These people mostly operate for free. And if they are financially connected or they are financial advisors, they could probably give you some good advice how to manage your financial situation or how to get out of this. So double check in your community if there's not a financial social advisor who can help you for free. These people are mostly well equipped also for that. Anyway, here coming back, we see here that no matter what the two of you are, if you did not reach that point, I hope for you, you didn't have, but you still have financial worries, you should think about an immediate modification of some of your behaviors. It means that we need to change some things in our life, because if we don't make some adjustments in our life, we probably gonna hit our head against the wall. So if you get this card here in this group, you should think wisely. The next card that we are seeing here is the card of evolution. We know that everything in life changes. We all evolve over the years, conditions evolve over the years, things change. And also sometimes decades that are following each other are not the same. Sometimes we don't even need a decade. If we think about 3 years ago and we think where we are now, we cannot compare the situation, because it's like the world is turned upside down with these viruses around us and the consequences of it. Anyway, it tells us that that our expenses also changed. For instance, 20 years ago, you would found it unusual to pay big amounts of money for instance, for internet. Our expenses and our needs are increasing in certain ways, and therefore we must eliminate what was essential and important in the past and which today is no longer important. For instance, if you no longer receive any calls on your landline, what is the purpose of this landline? Maybe we could consider for canceling this number if you don't use it. For instance, for broadcasts, if you no longer watch broadcasts on TV and you always, you catch yourself always watching on the internet, ask yourself what is the relevance of maintaining these subscriptions to these TV channels. If you have magazines that you are subscribed on and you have the paper versions, maybe you could consider for the option for the online version, because mostly they are 30–40% cheaper than the paper version. Anyway, it depends, but there's a lot of things here we can stop. Also, it's about banking. You could also consider for going for internet banking. Mostly internet banking is a lot cheaper than the classic banks, the bank that we have with that has a physical location and has staff, because the staff and the physical location makes our bank expensive. So you should consider here for going into virtual banking here. I know what you're thinking, is this safe? Well, you should play a little bit police officer for a few hours and double check if your bank is not somehow connected to an internet bank. And I'm sure if you check it out, they are most likely connected also to an independent internet bank. So check it out, because don't be surprised if you going for internet banking, you save 1,000 to 2,000 euro or dollar a year without you actually need to be a magician. You can, this is only basic expenses, because don't forget, every time you do an action in your bank, in the classic banks, we pay for it. So we should adjust here to the current times. This is what this card tells us. So Leo, this is all for the Stone Group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. If you have interest in classic Lenormand card readings, you can find those also on my channel. These are related to your work, your job. And then, of course, we have the spiritual, psychological card readings also, and they are very good guides for your path in life. Anyway, Leo, you should check it out. We never know too much. Anyway, Leo, I want to thank you for subscribing and see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the Aerosol or the Air Group for your philosophical financial card reading for the month of February. As your first card here, we see the card of mensualities, or this is about our monthly payments. We all have them. This is our householding. There are the telephone, internet, insurances, magazine subscriptions that we have. These are recurrent systematic payments, and most of us don't pay attention to them because we know they are there and they are part of our life. Anyway, this card tells us also that a large proportion of people don't notice if they are increasing. Not even if they these increases are major ones in the monthly payments, I mean here. Anyway, did you ever notice that these invoices have been increased? And also we need to add here, if you signed in during a promo, these companies in a lot of countries, they have the right to adjust the amount. So this means you no longer pay the amount where you signed in for. Here we see in many countries, we are supposed to be an informed customer that knows the law. But of course, very few of us are so. So here we should see that we should double check this here if these things have changed. Pay special attention here to time-limited discounts and keep track of expiration of certain promos, because these companies, they will put you in other regimes. Anyway, if you see they are changed, for instance, with your internet company, just call them and see if you can get back certain advantages, new discounts, or they can put you in another system. Sometimes this card is also about insurances. Maybe it's a very long time you upgraded your insurance portfolio. Maybe it's time for reviewing it and seek advice. If you don't know about insurances, seek advice of a broker. Also, it's about sometimes about internet banking or banking in general. Maybe you are still in the classic banks. You still have a physical location, even though you don't go to your bank anymore, or you go 2 times a year. Sometimes this card tells us also we should consider virtual banking. I know what you're thinking, and you think, yeah, but this whole thing, is it all safe? Well, if you play a little bit of police officer for a few hours, probably you can find out to which internet bank, independent internet bank, that your classic bank is connected, because mostly they have internet banks under a different name. If you do a little bit of research, you can find that out very easy. Don't be surprised if you go for 100% internet banking for your regular expenses. You save about $1,000 to $2,000 or euro a year, and you don't need to be a magician for that. These are just basic expenses, because as we know, every time we withdraw money, we pay. Every time we do an action, we pay. So just double check here if this is not interesting for you for considering for going into virtual banking. Anyway, here we see also we should, if we calculate all these small expenses that I just mentioned here, you will be surprised to what amounts you end up. and if you calculate it all together, these sometimes represent serious amounts of money. Maybe it's better that you have these amounts for a trip, for studies of your children, for savings, or for an extension in your house. It's better you build a new porch than that you help the bank foreseeing them of their next branch. It's better you have it yourself than they are advancing in your place. The next card that we here see is the card of heritage. It tells us that we should not rely on other people for certain monies here. Sometimes also this is about retirement. Maybe we think or we consider it unnecessary to accumulate some savings for our retirement. Maybe you are expecting some large amount of money, but this card tells us to be very careful with that. Sometimes it's utopian and even dangerous to rely on certain monies, even if it's an inheritance. But for financing your old age, it's always a little bit of a gamble. Anyway, we need to consider here also, even if it's a large amount, we should consider also if they are really unfit. And also, adding to that, we never have read their will, and therefore we are never sure that we are their sole heir. Maybe there are sisters, maybe there are brothers, they get more advantages compared to you, and we are not sure of that till they have their last breath. So don't make this mistake. This card tells us we are only absolutely sure when the notary or the lawyer, he reads the will. Also, first, we know also that the life expectancy has exploded over the last decade, and our parents will likely much live longer than their ancestors. And as they get older, of course, they need gradually these savings for services suited to their survival conditions. And of course, we cannot blame them. They worked for it. Secondly, each individual, of course, it has the right to change their destinary dispositions at any time. And we never know if our mother or our father, they will not succumb to the young Venus living next door, or Cupid they met on the internet, and they will not decide to favor this person at the expense of the descendants. Here we see that money or an inheritance or money, whatever, it can be part of an investment or even a retirement analysis, but nevertheless, we should be very careful with it. So make your plans independent, whatever they are, and you will come out as a winner. The next card here that we are seeing here is the card of social pressure. What does this card tell us? Well, we as human beings, we constantly compare ourselves to our peers. We live in a community and it determines our place in relationship to others. But we need to add over here also that we live in a society of overconsumptions, and probably when you look around you, sometimes you are wondering how your friends, neighbors, they are driving around in nice cars, new luxurious cars, they're wearing nice designer clothes, they have the latest electronic gadgets, they have the very nice designer shoes, and sometimes maybe for your part, you're living through difficulties on the end of the month. And you think to yourself, how do my neighbors, friends, relatives, how do they manage to get there? And this card tells us not to compare your financial situation to people around us. We make choices every day, and you are the one who is responsible for those choices. And also, this is the card of financial appearances. So don't let others' financial appearance fool you. This card suggests that probably you used your money wisely in the past, and it asks you to continue to do so. For instance, if you have unexpected expenses, maybe you need to buy suddenly a new car, or you need to buy some expensive devices for your house, like laundry machines or whatever it is. And instead of buying those things new, you could consider, for instance, or you can opt for a second-hand car with the official dealer that comes with the full warranty. Or if you need to buy some expensive machinery for your house or whatever it is, there's a lot of internet sites where a lot of articles are offered. They are new, still packed, the warranty is still with them. So you should consider these things there, because you can save a lot of money also in that way. We can purchase and we can save a lot of money here, and these can be branded articles, but still unused. Anyway, you should consider these things also. Anyway, it tells us also, this card, what looks good on the outside for other people, it's not necessarily so. So live according to your own needs, your own abilities. Define yourself socially by your personality and your personal accomplishments. They are much more worth than designer clothes. So don't bend for social pressure, groups of people. Just stay who you are and do your own thing. This is what this card tells us. Anyway, this is all for the air group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of it. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. If you are interested, Leo, in the classic Lenormand card readings, you can also check them out on my channel. We do classic Lenormands oriented on work and business, and we do also the spiritual philosophical card readings now. You can find them also on my channel. They are very good guides in our life, and you can get a lot of additional information there for your life. Anyway, Leo, I want to thank you for your time, and I will also thank you for subscribing. See you next time, Leo. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Leo, and welcome to the Matches or the Fire group for your philosophical financial card reading for the month of February. As your first card here, we see the card of the irregularities of life, or maybe we should prepare ourselves for the future. No matter what stage in life we are in, there will always be rainy days, there will be storms, and even when it comes to money, it's a little bit unrealistic that we don't need to prepare ourselves for the irregularities of life. And this is the card of questions. It asks you if you have a rescue plan. Do you have a safety cushion? Did you foresee the unforeseen? Did you foresee the unpredictable? We never know what will happen in our life or when it will happen. But here we see that this card asks us, are you ready for any form of financial turmoil, a sudden disruption? If so, how did you prepare? So here we see also that it's a card about insurances. Do you have enough insurances for securing yourself on your life or in your surroundings? Your income, is it stable? Sometimes it's also about material things. Is your car still good for a few years? Is it well maintained? Is your house well maintained? Is it secured? Do you have a little bit of savings, or are you living the good life, the bon vivant? Are you spending all your earning here? Here we are asked questions here. And if, for instance, also sometimes it's about pay cuts, can you survive without a pay cut? Anyway, we should reflect over all these things that we just mentioned here, because we are aware we cannot foresee the unforeseen. We never know when something less fortunate comes to us, so we should act in control here with this card and take in account that we never know what is coming. The next card that we are seeing here, it tells us that every gesture counts. What does this mean? Well, it probably means that this is mostly about use of credit cards. Sometimes it tells us here, if we use credit cards, that mostly our brain don't calculate. We just put the card on the machine, the money is withdrawn, and we don't think about it twice. There's a difference if we pay cash. Why? We hand over the money, we take it out, and we see the money disappearing out of our wallet. So there is a psychological difference. Why? Because if we hand over, it causes us pain. We work hard for that money, and it's always disappearing, and the wallet is very fast to be empty. This is what we are seeing here. Anyway, a lot of people came in problems or common problems sometimes by spending always small amounts. But if you count or calculate all these small amounts, it brings a lot of money at the end of the month. You don't need to spend big amounts of money. Sometimes also it can come with small amounts of money. And here we are asked if we are having a little bit of spendthrift, or we are we notice, or if we observe ourselves, we see that we spend money easy. We should be careful with doing so. These so-called insignificant disbursements, they have a very way of accumulating to big amounts. So it could be important here that you go in a different path here, because it could have an important an important thing in the future that is coming maybe, and these small decisions, micro decisions that we are taking here, if we say no to them, it could mean that you can save a lot of money for the future to come, or maybe we never know what is coming here. It's about controlling our future here. This is what I'm thinking here, what is lying here. The next card is probably that you are about in for a promotion in your work. This is the card of promotion. This is also the card that we could receive an annual bonus, because this is the bonus card. It's possible this card sometimes also relate that our parents give us some money. Anyway, there is some money coming to us here due to our own efforts, or something that we getting because we deserved it in a way. Anyway, it could be quite a substantial sum that we are having here. Anyway, the problem with these unexpected bonuses here that we are getting here, sometimes if we know they are coming, sometimes we tend to spend them before they even reach our wallet. Sometimes it's used for paying credit card debts. Sometimes we want to buy a gem for our wife. Sometimes we buy ourselves an electronic gadget. Anyway, it's probably well deserved here, but we should think about it. And instead of spending this money, we might consider it for putting it in a savings account. And just for the sake that it's there, you just leave it for 1 month there in the account. You just look at it, it will not run anywhere. And you should take, this card tells us, take a break from spending. So think about this amount of money and see that you use it in an optimal way. There might be something coming here, and we should avoid the impulse from immediate spending. This is what this card tells us. Anyway, this is all for Leo, for the fire group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you have interest in the classic Lenormand card readings, you can find those also on my channel. And we do also the philosophical spiritual card readings, who give a lot of information for yourself, Leo, in the future. Anyway, you should check it out. We never know too much. So Leo, thank you for your time. And I also thank you for subscribing. See you next time, Leo. Bye-bye for now.